With it being pretty cloudy and rainy the past couple weeks here in the Bay Area, I haven't really had a chance to get out very much. But tonight things were clear. I wasn't on vacation or anything, so I pulled out the Dob and checked out NGC 189, which is the first in Stephen James O'Meara's Hidden Treasures book. It's after getting through the Messier list last year, I figured I wanted another list to kind of occupy my focus, and so here we go. With nothing much to do over the last couple of weeks, with the sky so crummy, I ended up buying a bunch of stuff. One of the things was a circle here, which is actually a knitting circle, and there's a whole bunch of them in the set. I think ranging from like 2 inches all the way up to 6 inches or so. And it's nice because I can just keep them in my drawing set for observing and just pull them out. It's a little bit easier than running into the kitchen and grabbing all the bowls every single time I'm trying to do a sketch. So for tonight's drawing, I'm starting out with the pencil as usual, trying to mark out the spots of the main stars. Right off the bat, I noticed that there was a row of three pretty bright ones in the middle, almost like Orion's belt. So I spent a little bit of time making sure that that was all put into the right place. Then adding in a few of those secondary stars around it. It's been a little while since I've done any sketching, so it's taken me a little bit of time to kind of get back into figuring out where all the placement of the stars goes again. The skies tonight were, I would say, a little below average for the area. Seeing was around a 2 or so, which, like planets and all were a little bit wobbly and that kind of thing. And transparency, the the lowest magnification or magnitude that I could spot in the stars was probably about a 3.5 or so. And I would consider it about a Bortle 8 sky. There was a lot of light that was being reflected off of the atmosphere and making it hard to get some really good contrast. Despite all of that, though, I mean, it was good enough to check out NGC 189, and overall, this open cluster is kind of, I don't know, nothing overly special about it. I guess it was pretty to check out, and it was cool to look at, but it wasn't like spectacular by any sense. One thing I did notice too as I started getting into the ink here using the Diatramentus white ink inside of the fountain pen is that tonight's weather was pretty nice and warm. I haven't really used the fountain pen outside in super warm conditions a whole lot, and the flow was working really well. I hadn't cleaned it in a week or two, which usually gunks up the nib a lot. But what I was noticing was that even though I hadn't cleaned it out because of the warmer weather, I think it was flowing really nicely. So it was pretty easy to get all of the stars placed, and the ink was flowing right away when I was writing things down and all of that. And I'm still trying to figure out exactly the best method of using the fountain pen. I still find that the precision of the dots and placing all of the stars is working really well with it. But it really is just the flow issue, particularly with colder weather, that makes it a little bit difficult to be completely reliable. So overall, a pretty quick sketch. I think that in all, this took maybe about 15 minutes or so to draw out all of the stars here. And just as I was finishing up the sketch here, I did notice a satellite swinging by, and I was like, "Yeah, I'll draw that in too every once in a while. I like to just mark the path of things that are going through." So I grabbed the gel pen and just gave a scratchy line across just to kind of delineate what I was noticing through there. And that's the sketch for tonight, or at least the first one in the evening, before moving on to a couple others, which I'll probably be posting up shortly.